Welcome back for update number 4. I wanted to give you a quick tour of what I've been doing the last week. I've been informed that I will go on vacation for the next 2 weeks, so that's why I kind of wanted to get this one out. A couple things I found. One is on Amazon.com. Kind of found some nice little pine trees. Very reasonable. $11.99, and you get 30 free shipping. So they are made by Evermodel, and that product number is D6524. One of the things that that you have is that when you get it, they come in a bag, and of course they're like this. So you have to sit back with a pair of tweezers. It takes about 5 minutes. And you have to kind of make them look like a tree again. So, but still, I felt a pretty reasonable price for 30 of them. So we have that. I've laid a little bit of carving plaster down. I'm going to try to make some rocks with carving plaster. One area to make it kind of look like a big shelf rock. I've put that in. I've worked on riverbed, which has been most of my time this last week. And my grandson has requested that maybe I make part of the forest look like it had a forest fire. So I'm kind of looking for ideas for that one. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it yet, but we'll come up with something. Hopefully an airbrush and some darker paint, kind of make the turf look a little bit burnt. Okay, let's take a quick tour of the layout. The Woodland Scenics carving plaster that I laid in. Went very well. Followed their instructions on the box. Laid this in about 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch thick around this area. Put it on, went and cleaned up my tools, came back about 5 minutes later. It was still just soft enough I could push this. Took my putty knife and kind of pulled this up against the back, and it stuck right in there. So this project will continue after I get the bridge work done. Well, we've put down a little bit of brown. I didn't know what color to start with, but I had to start someplace. So fill in a couple little holes, whatever. I'm going to kind of try to show the progress on this as I go along. Got some small rocks to try to line the outside edges and maybe put a few in the center. I've got some fine sand I can kind of make it go down. Okay, we've got a little more accomplished. Got all the plaster cloth laid in over in this corner, and across the riverbed and over in this corner. So I still have to fill in this, but I wanted to really concentrate on getting the bridges in, and to do that I have to have the riverbed kind of done. So put my brown wash on that I always put on before I put my ground cover down. I had some real small grit, and I'm trying to make that look like the rock that you see that holds the dirt kind of back. I'm doing that on each side of the bridge where that comes in. I'll tomorrow, after this dries, I'll scrape off the rocks that don't belong, put a little more glue in, and I'm using a real thick tacky glue, the Woodland Scenics foam tack, I think they call it. I'm using that to do it. So I'll pick off a few, add a little more glue, put a few more rocks on there on each one. Came up also with some medium-sized boulders. I'm going to put those around the edge of the bank, and a few down the center of the stream. Figure I can't do anything wrong. If it doesn't come out right, I'll just scrape it off and start over again. So we'll go from here. And we made a little more progress. I've got the track laid up just before the bridge, and I wanted to time that so that the flex track ended right before it. I wanted to make a an 8 or 12 inch piece to go straight across the bridge, then I'll attach another one. I didn't want to try to use Flex Track and go across and try to keep everything in control. It's easier to control an 8 or 12 inch piece of track. So we've added a little bit more gravel to it. Worked a little bit on the banks to get that part. So tomorrow I'll get the track laid across the bridge and hopefully start getting a little scenery on both sides added in. Okay, here's where we stand with the bridges. I've got the dry bed pretty well completed. Got the track laid over, and I put the last two pieces on of Flex Track. So now we'll get a little bit of ground cover down, and I'm not sure if I'll get that the ground cover on before I get this update out, but it's coming along very nicely. I wanted to show you a quick one, the way I do my wild grass. I know you can buy them already pre-made. These packs here of like different colors of green. I normally grab I don't know, 15, 20. Little bunch there. Kind of handy to have a little bit of water there. Just kind of clump them together here to get them to go into the layout a little easier. I trim off the bottom. Excuse me while I jump out of the camera range. Cut it off flat, and then we'll hold glue. A little dab on the bottom, and after we get that kind of on there, about 1/8 of an inch, maybe even a little less. We've got that clump now. We're not going to use the whole thing, but this will give us a way to put a small hole in the layout. Put this in there, I'll go back in, I'll cut it off the length I want and do this process over again and keep, I can probably get 5 or 6 little clumps of grass out of this, but it does take some time, and I'll just set that over to dry. And we'll come over here, and here's some that I've kind of pre-made up. And out of those, like I say, I'll get anywhere from 3 to 5 or 6 of those on my layout out of each stock. Okay, that kind of brings update number 4 to a close. But thank you very much for stopping by. Like I say, I will be off on vacation for a couple weeks, and then it'll take me another week or 2 to get a little progress done here on the layout. So everybody have a few weeks of good time coming up, and we'll see you soon.